Is Snoop Dogg the biggest hip-hop superstar ever? Bar none.
No.
Wait. You said that way too dismissively, and I think you need to take a second and really think about that. Snoop Dogg.
No.
Again, he is carrying the torch in the Olympics. There's never been a rapper to carry a torch in the Olympics. Like, that's not normal. Welcome to the Fumble. My name is Rodney Ricard. My sister is Samaria Terry. I'm trying to look like her today with the shoulder out. You see it's sensual shoulder.
You get on my nerves so bad.
What's happening? How you feeling, beloved?
I'm feeling good. It's raining a lot here. Is it raining over there in California?
Nah, it don't rain where I'm at because I'm the sun. You feel me? Anyway, sure. I'm excited because today we have our very first guest on the Fumble. He is a Super Bowl champion, an NCAA champion, played on my very favorite NCAA team of all time. That's the 01 Miami Hurricanes. Of course, I'm talking about brother Bryant McKinnie, and he's from Jersey. Big Jersey in the building. You see us. How you feel about
it's going to be so much fun because this is our very first interview. We have so many topics to ask Bryant, so you got to stick around to see.
Yes. My shoulder is out. Samaria's swoop is popping. It's time to start the Fumble. You dig?
All right, so the Olympics kicks off this week, and Arike Ogunbowale said her piece about why she decided to withdraw her name from the U.S. women's national team. She told ESPN that she felt that they didn't even really want her on the team, and then she proceeded to light the ass up, setting an all-star game record with 34 points in the second half. What was your reaction to that, Rod? You sent it to me.
My reaction is I'm starting to wear off on you a little bit because I ain't never heard you curse on this platform before. You said ass, Samaria. I love it. Keep that curse going on. Yeah, bleep that out. My reaction to Arike's All-Star Game performance was wow. If that wasn't a reminder for who should have been on the Olympic team, I don't know what is. She clearly had a vengeance. She clearly was spiteful. She clearly was upset. But yeah, no, it was great to see. I think this is obviously going to be the most competition that the women's Team USA basketball team will face this Olympic season. And she's a stone cold killer. She's the best. We had an argument last week about who's the best point guard in the WNBA, and I said it might be Caitlin, but clearly it's Arike. So she did what she's supposed to do. Yeah,
you can tell that she came into that game with something to prove. She didn't score a single point in the first half. She said after the game that Cheryl Miller had to literally just tell her to breathe in the locker room at halftime, and then she went out and had 8 threes made or something like that, maybe more. I'm not sure, but yeah. That's crazy. That whole thing, when you sent me the link to that ESPN clip, I'm like, why are y'all walking around making people feel like you don't even want them on the team?
Yeah, we've always heard about the politics of sports, right? Or at least I have. And this Olympic season, there's been a lot of conversation about the politics around these Olympic teams, whether it's Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, and now Arike. There are high-level impact, great players who feel like they're being shortchanged from an opportunity to represent their country, and it's not because of talent, it's strictly because of politics. And I would imagine Kyrie Irving and Jaylen Brown, if they had a chance to play against Team USA, would have the same kind of performance. I'm happy that Arike got to let people know who the F she is on that national stage. And even beyond Arike, this was one of the best all-star games that I've seen in a really long time. We do not, the men's all-star game, they don't play serious at all. I think the last time they played serious was the Kobe year, 2020, because Kobe had passed, and they had the Kobe ceremony and the Elam ending and all of those things, and they made the all-star game palatable. But the women showed out. The women were like, nah, we here to play. We really got some things to get off our chest, and they left it all out there on the court, and I absolutely loved it. Shout out to the ladies, yo. They really are making, they're making sports fun again. We got a guy out there saying, make America great again. I can't rock with that, but make sports fun and competitive again. That's what the ladies are doing right now.
Yeah, and I know that you wanted to see Angel and Caitlin on the floor together. What did you think?
They don't like each other. Can we acknowledge they don't like each other? I can read body language and energy, fam. They do not click like that.
Yes, they do. Don't. Stop. They respect each other.
I didn't mention anything about respect. I said
I know, but I'm saying they're not besties, but
clearly
they cool. They cool.
Clearly. Yeah, there was a lot of conversation. And also, I mean, I'm kind of joking, but kind of serious because, again, I'm a body language expert, and I just felt like you can tell there's a clear level of static between them. But I felt it to be a little bit interesting that Flau'jae took a picture and posted with Caitlin Clark, right? She caught some flack for that. People were saying that clearly if she's posting pictures of Caitlin Clark, that her and Angel Reese have some sort of tension. Flau'jae came out and refuted that, letting people know that everything is love between her and Angel Reese. Because also, if you remember last year in their season, Flau'jae's mother took some shots at Angel Reese. Is it Flau'jae? Okay, my fault. All right, she could flow. She could rap. So I'm gonna call her Flau'jae. You know what I'm saying? Like, she got flow. It's a double entendre. You feel what I'm saying? But I felt like her mom took some shots at Angel Reese last year because Angel had to sit because of some academic reasons. There was a little bit of back and forth. And so people thought that this, allegedly, people thought that was some carryover from their season last year down at LSU. So I love the infighting. I love the infighting. And when they real about it, gangster.
No, I hate it. Mm-mm.
Why? We love competition. We love to see people living out their true emotions. If you don't rock with somebody, I wish people would just come out and say it more often. Not to say that Flau'jae has said that. I'm just saying I like the possibility of tension because women are going to honor how they feel more so than the men. And I really appreciate that as an antagonist. Yeah, y'all let us know your thoughts in the comment section about Arike's All-Star Game performance. Okay, so I want to keep things a little bit Olympic-centric, Samaria. There are so many athletes to focus on in this Olympics, and my attention is going to be all over the place. We got LeBron leading our basketball team, Noah Lyles and Sha'Carri Richardson being the favorites on the track, and of course, Simone Biles simply being the GOAT in her sport. Competing in another Olympics, she has 37 medals all time, the most by any gymnastics athlete. Crazy. So, Samaria, what athlete and or sport are you most excited to watch in the Olympics?
I'm going to say track first. I really want to see how Sha'Carri is going to do on the biggest stage of her life against the Jamaicans. I'm so excited. I think that's going to be like one of the most watched events of the Olympics, that 100-meter race. And then also, of course, Simone Biles. She's going to win. We know that she's going to win. I love to see a redemption story just like Sha'Carri. So I'm excited to see Simone back on the floor. And after she overcame all the stuff with the mental health and all that, she got her man now. So I'm like, okay, girl, let's.
Now, what does her having a man have to do with the Olympics? What the hell? Why does her being in a marriage?
And they're gonna let him. What team does he play? I think he plays for Chicago now. They're gonna let him miss training camp to go support her. So that's sweet.
Is that sweet? Oh, hold on. Let's pivot real quick because I remember a couple weeks ago you had an issue with Aaron Rodgers missing a voluntary workout, but you're okay with this man going across the pond to watch his woman do her job? And my wife has a presentation at work. I just want to know.
You're comparing Jonathan Owens to Aaron Rodgers. Is that what you just did?
No, what I'm saying, I'm comparing situations.
No,
I am comparing missing work.
One leads in offense. So, I don't even know if Jonathan is even going to play.
So that's not the point. We talking about missing work.
No, that is the point. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers. A year coming off of he played for all of 8 minutes the season before.
And was there the entire time. Listen, I said I wanted to keep it Olympic centric. You just contradicted yourself, and I just needed to call you out. So the thing that I am most looking forward to in the Parisian Olympics is I'm a basketball guy, so of course it's going to be Team USA. I want to see how this team gels together. They've had some really hotly contested friendlies leading up to the Olympics, and so I want to see if this team is going to be able to beat Joker. If they're going to be able to beat France, right? Who has obviously Wemby and Rudy Gobert's bum ass, but he plays different. I'm always gonna call Rudy Gobert bum, by the way. So yeah, I'm really interested to see how this team gels. Steph Curry having the opportunity to win his first Olympic gold medal. Still cannot believe that's the case. He's 36 years old. So that's where my attention will lie. But track, of course, I think it's the ultimate competition in the Olympics because it's such an even playing field, right? Like, it's just one of those things that sometimes you have a random Caucasian that just comes out of nowhere, and sometimes you have Jamaica, or sometimes you have somebody from Sudan, or it's equal footing all around. And so sometimes in basketball it feels like we have the upper hand because our athletes are who our athletes are, but track is an international sport, and so you really never know who's going to come out prepared and take gold in those competitions. Yeah, but also leading up into the Olympics kicking off, we have the torch ceremony, right? So every year it's always been a thing. You get superstars and celebrities to carry the torch, and this year we have Snoop Dogg, who will be a torchbearer, and I think that's fire. Which made me want to ask you this question: is Snoop Dogg the biggest hip hop superstar ever, bar none?
No.
Wait. You said that way too dismissively, and I think you need to take a second and really think about that. Snoop Dogg.
No.
Who do you think is the biggest superstar in hip hop than Snoop Dogg?
That's like widely regarded as the best.
Biggest superstar. Superstar and talent they're not mutually
dead
exclusive.
or alive.
Don't matter.
So you don't think that Tupac was a bigger star? Still is, I think.
Snoop Dogg is in commercials. He's in movies. He's in places in white America that you never would imagine that Snoop Dogg would even be allowed to exist in. He is carrying the torch in the Olympics.
Then Ice Cube is in movies. He was a great rapper.
No. Wait, you think you've seen
you're
Ice
talking
Cube
about? Are you?
brands?
He's the face of his own basketball league. Are you
I said
talking about?
brands.
Are you talking about? I'm sure he has brands. I'm saying.
Wait.
And also, Drake used to have a lot of brands. He used to do like Sprite.
Drake is in no way, shape, or form a bigger superstar than Snoop Dogg is. He has.
I'm saying,
more
what is your
albums you can say-
qualifications? What is your qualifications? Are you talking about Are you talking about like lyricism?
No, we're not talking about music.
Like,
we're not talking about music. This is.
Okay, so then you didn't give me the qualifications. That's why
sorry,
I immediately went to Tupac.
So then let me go back so Tupac is the greatest rapper of all time? That's crazy. So let me go back then and ask you this question now, understanding the context. Is Snoop Dogg the biggest superstar in hip hop history?
No. And I only say that because he does get a lot of stuff, but I do feel like there are other. I don't think he's the biggest. He could be he's top 3, top 2, but
hear me out. He does Olympic coverage.
A lot, but
he does Olympic coverage. There's not an award show that he's never been a part of. He is a global icon and superstar. He has his own brands. In addition to that, he is the face of huge brands. I can't list them because we're not getting paid from them, so I don't want to do that. But we know the brands and commercials that we regularly see Snoop Dogg in. He does VO work in every single space. Again, he is carrying the torch in the Olympics. There's never been a rapper to carry a torch in the Olympics. Like, that's not normal.
Okay.
And to think about his starting point, like Doggy Style is a top 3 album of all time, but beating a murder trial and surpassing that start out the blocks that could have seen him have the rest of his life spent in prison. I think his story is probably the greatest story in hip hop, and coincidentally, he also became the biggest superstar.
So with those qualifications, you don't think that Ice Cube should be top 3? No, because he's done movies. He has one of the greatest disc records of all time.
He's up there. He's top 5.
Okay, he has a lead. He founded the Big 3. He literally is on Fox News talking about being a Republican or whatever he is.
That kind of disqualifies him. But if that's what you
no, but I'm just.
And he didn't. And I wanted to shoot him some bail. He never said that. He never said he was Republican. He was just saying that we need to have a collective. We need to have a super PAC.
Well,
to
maybe
make sure
he's
that
more
our vote
conservative.
I
don't know. Okay. Well, I'm just saying, as far as those qualifications.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. You were very dismissive of Snoop Dogg. I'm interested to see.
I'm not dismissive of him, but I'm just like I just think of other people. Okay. Also, while we're talking about greatest of all time, I want to ask you, like, ESPN came out with the 25 greatest Olympians of all time in the 21st century. Who do you think is top 3? Did you see that list?
I did see the list, but I didn't retain it because I feel like lists are inherently clickbaity, and I try to stay away from clickbait material. I mean, I think it was Michael Phelps is number 1, and probably Simone Biles.
So they have Simone Biles at number 2, and then they have Usain Bolt at 3, which I'm not necessarily mad at.
Yeah, okay, then that's fine. Then I would have to put Carmelo Anthony because Carmelo Anthony is actually the most decorated Olympic basketball player.
There's no basketball players on that list. Also, they have Allison Felix at 6 on this list. She's top 5.
Okay, I wasn't prepared for this segment. I ain't gonna lie to you, champ. I don't know people's medal counts because then you have Katie Ledecky. I know Katie Ledecky.
No, she's top 5. She's top 5.
Okay.
She's 4. She's 4 on that list. That's why I was like top 3. I thought that the top 3 were really good because you can't think of like men swimming without thinking of Michael Phelps. You can't think about gymnastics without thinking about Simone. I like Simone. Like I put her number 1, but I ain't trying to ruffle no feathers.
Yeah, that's it's all about which sport you think you enjoy more.
Exactly.
I think her and Michael Phelps are interchangeable.
Okay, well, do you like Usain at 3?
He's a black man, sure.
Rodney, you know that Usain Bolt, we in America was rooting.
Oh, it's electric. It's electric. Anytime you stepped onto a track, it was electric. You stop what you were doing. I can't argue against that. So in the comment section, do me a favor, y'all. I have 2 questions. I need to hear y'all feedback on. Do you feel like Snoop Dogg is the biggest hip hop celebrity of all time? And also, who do you feel like is the greatest Olympic athlete since 2000? Let us know your thoughts.
All right, so let's switch gears to the NFL training camp, of course, kicking off this week. And joining us now, we got a guy who played 12 seasons in the NFL. Welcome our special guest, Bryant McKinnie. Bryant, thank you so much for coming on with us to talk a little bit of football.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course.
Hold on, Samaria. No, because you ain't acknowledged one that he was from New Jersey. Okay. All right? And he not a guy. He's the guy from one of the best college football teams of all times, a Super Bowl champion. And we gotta again reference Big Jersey in the building. And he's also our first guest. Come on, Brian. I ain't gonna listen. Black men, we gotta ride together. You feel what I'm saying, bro?
I was gonna get to that.
Well, win.
Okay, Brian. Let's just start with NFL first. Who do you feel like is a sleeper this season? What team do you feel like is going to come out and shock the world this year?
I'm not sure. I have teams in my mind that I feel like that'll go far, maybe go to the Super Bowl. Of course, the Ravens, I feel like that is back in New Orleans. They've added a great running back to their repertoire to help Lamar Jackson as well. So I can see the Ravens doing good this season. As far as a sleeper, I'm really not sure. I'm still sleeping on them, I guess.
I can see that.
Let's talk a little bit about champions because you are one both in the NFL and collegiately, right? So you played on my favorite, again, football team of all time in college, the 2001 Miami Hurricanes, the U. Just a phenomenal team that defined culture in the way that the Fab Five and UNLV and Georgetown did in basketball. Just an iconic team with so many superstars that filled that roster. The one thing you guys didn't do, though, was take advantage of NIL. So how do you feel like your team would have benefited from playing in the NIL era? And who would have made the most money on the squad? It's a lot of stars on that team. Who would have got the bag?
All right. Well, I feel like that was a question that we kind of asked us. So we're all in a group chat still, so we all keep in touch. And so
that's fire.
My senior year, who would have got the bag? It would have for sure been myself, Ed Reed, Jeremy Shockey, and Philip Buchanan. We were the seniors, so we would have probably got at that time the most money, and we were like the first 4 picks, that year.
And then who do you feel like would have blown the bag first? Who would have been the first one to blow through their cash?
We would have came together. We already was doing like little barbecues. Like, so I lived off campus. Jeremy Shockey was my roommate my senior year. So Ed Reed and those guys, they could cook. Marquise Fitzgerald. We would come over. We had the basketball girls too come over, and we would have like barbecues and stuff at the house. So we would put our stuff together and do stuff as a unit. And that's the difference. I feel like a lot of these guys in our deals, they kind of become individuals and they don't do things we thought as a group. So like we had different hookups, different places, and we would go places as groups and hang out and still hang out outside of the locker room. And I feel like that's what made our rapport, like on and off the field, so much better. If these guys learn to do things together, like use some of their money and do events to bring the team closer, I feel like it would be more beneficial. So we were just naturally doing it. So we'd have some extra money. We'd probably get tables on South Beach. We'd have been doing a little more.
That's really interesting that you say that, because a lot of former players, they wish that they could have capitalized off off of NIL, but then you just mentioned a point of like that camaraderie that maybe we aren't seeing right now across collegiate sports. Do you feel like NIL may be hurting?
I think it does. I think it can hurt some people, because some people get so complacent with the money they're getting in college that I don't know if the hunger's still there. So we had guys like Bubba Franks and Edrin James and all those guys would come back, and we would see them driving the new Escalades and all that stuff. And then you had myself and Vernon Carey when we had to run our 110s, even though we hated it. You had a guy named Leon Searcy, who was a big offensive lineman for us from our school, who had just signed like a $50 million contract. So those were things, were motivations for us to go to the next level. So some people, it can hurt them, and some people, it motivate them even more.
Yeah, I don't know why you acting like y'all wasn't still getting the bag off the table, but
it's
cool. Don't worry. Don't worry about it. This ain't the Get Indicted podcast. You'll be all right. So one of the things that's always interesting to me, and if I could be honest, disappoints me, is the NFLPA, when it's time to renegotiate their contract, always seem to miss the mark. You guys play the most dangerous sport on the land, right, on earth, and I don't understand why there isn't more of a push to get you guys guaranteed contracts. I feel like you guys have given way too much to ownership and just always relinquish things that'll help you grow the game and grow your personal brands and safety playing this dangerous sport. Why do you think the NFLPA hasn't been able to negotiate those guaranteed contracts as of yet?
I really don't know why, because I do feel like they should at least negotiate people able to have like health insurance, afterwards, because a lot of guys come out not the same way as they went in. So they should at least try to cover that. I mean, because right now they cover for like your first 5 years after you retire, but it's like some of these guys are tore up afterwards. You know what I mean? So I feel like I don't know who's really dropping the ball over there, but there's a lot of things that need to be done, even far as I have a foundation. I do mental health awareness, so I do a couple events. I do one event per year, and I help the NFLPA do a panel so we could discuss things, and that's very important. Guys got to learn how to transition from the game to life after. And then they don't want to speak to their family, who always looked at them as the go-to person. It's like they want to talk to people who are more relatable, who've been through what they've been through. And that was the purpose of me helping them come up with that. So I feel like there's still a lot of work that the NFLPA can do for guys post-career and even during their career, to kind of give them a little more of a safety net, because these are like traumatic things that take place. You had a guy have a heart attack on the field, and you have a guy just be one play away from an injury that he can't even work anymore. Just it's a lot of things that goes into this, and it's a very physical sport. It's not like basketball. You hurt your pinky and you're out for a game. It's like I done played through broken hands. All type of
hold on. That was a shot.
Listen, I got it written down. I was gonna ask that, Bryant. I was gonna say, who did you feel like was more athletic? Football players or basketball players?
That's never been the conversation. That has never been the conversation. Frame the question the appropriate.
Who are the better athletes?
No. What athlete has a better opportunity and chance of transitioning into the other sport? So is it more likely that a football player can transition into and have success in playing basketball, or a basketball player transitioning into the NFL and having success there? Which is more likely?
Yeah, I think I've seen more guys who played basketball transition into football, just because they weren't soft. So it's about being physical. But no, to be honest though, you have like Julius Peppers was the basketball guy who he did both. You had Jimmy Graham. You have more guys who kind of were both, but then they went to football. So, but also feel like the teams are smaller, so you have a smaller chance of making a team in basketball where it's like 30 people on the team, but in football it's like 53. So I feel like you have a higher percent chance to make it on a football team than a basketball team.
Yeah, it's only been one guy go football to basketball, and of course is Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward, who played for the Knicks for a really long time. But other than that, man, it doesn't really happen like that. But you see hella basketball players become all-world NFL players without ever having played a down of collegiate football. No disrespect to you, brother, but basketball players are just a more fluid athlete.
I think those guys are just tougher guys, and they just really like, I'd rather get on a football court and just grind it out and just they have a tougher mentality. It's like, okay, I'm a little too physical. I may get fouled out in basketball, so let me just play football where it's a little rougher.
All right, so Bryant, since we started the reimagining of the Fumble, right? We've been having one topic that is really getting our audience going. So this will let people know what kind of man you are, whether they like you, whether they don't, depending on what side of the aisle you stand on in this particular topic. Bryant, this is high pressure moment for you right now, G. High pressure moment, okay? Are you an Angel Reese guy or a Caitlin Clark guy? We need to know.
I feel like I was exposed to Angel Reese first, so I became more of an Angel Reese guy. When she did this, I think they played against each other like her junior year or something like that, and she ended up winning. So therefore, I mean, she's a champion. So I mean, kind of like was riding with her more, and I feel like she was getting a lot more exposure, like on the sites I look at, the Shade Room and things like that, and they were tracking her. So I ended up following her career more.
Okay.
But then I started hearing about Caitlyn again, going into their last year. So I'm more familiar with injuries.
Got you. Okay, that was well played too. Okay, so you a G. You know how to dance a little bit. Good feet. All offensive linemen got good feet. Well played, sir. So we know Texas, Georgia, California, recruiting hotbeds.
In Florida.
Excuse me. Can we talk about the Jersey high school football and the talent that permeates our great state? Though small, we are mighty. Go ahead, Brian. You do that thing.
I think it's coming out a lot now because I think the internet helped Jersey out a lot because Jersey has like a lot of small towns in it too, where all the schools aren't big. I have a nephew that plays in the league, plays for the Steelers this season, Anthony Avery. There's a lot of guys coming out of Jersey. Eli, what's Eli's last name?
Ooh, not Apple.
Eli Apple.
It is Apple. I was about to say.
Oh, wait. He's the one. Respectfully, he's the one guy that I don't want to claim. He is ass.
Well,
Hold on now, Brian. Hold on now. Hey, he the one. Not him of all people.
They made it to the league though. It's hard to make it. There's only 1%.
Nah, that's who you got. No, that's it. No, that's it. That's all you got.
Brian, come on, man.
Jersey has definitely come up, especially if you like a small state, has definitely come up to produce a lot of professional athletes.
All right, man, we got to wrap this up now. You're going to mention Eli Apple. Brian, we appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Good luck with the toy drive and back to school drive August 3rd going down to Miami. Thank you, my dog. We appreciate you very, very much. Okay, Samaria, it's time for another Fumble of the Week. So, as you know, I am a sports nut. I watch almost anything competitive on television. I'm talking poker, pool. I watched the basketball tournament this week as well. And outside of just watching sports, I listen to endless amounts of sports media, from podcasts to nationally syndicated television shows. And one of my favorites to watch has been Gil's Arena, because I think they just have a dope collective of hoopers, and I respect it, even though Rashad McCants tried to tear down my favorite program of all time in UNC. But this is not about Rashad McCants. This is about Gilbert Arenas. He made some comments after Team USA's 1-point victory over Sudan in a friendly just a couple of days ago. And Gil is known to say wild things, but what he said about Sudan and the continent as a whole were the kind of remarks that make you wonder what kind of upbringing a man like that had. And so let me contextualize Gilbert Arenas' experiences growing up. He is from the Valley of Los Angeles. It's where I am and live right now. And it lacks much culture outside of the Latin community and is dumb far from the blocks of black culture that exists in the heart of LA. I mean, you can barely find a decent beef patty, and soul food is nothing but tacos out here, okay? So that's where he is from. But Gil was once the guy in Washington, D.C., a city that I lived in for 5 years, a city that I was a part of the heartbeat of for 5 years. And that is a city brimming with migrants from the continent. And because we have swam in similar ponds in Samaria, you can take that whichever direction you want to take it. I'm sure he is very well aware of the phenomenal beauty within the Habesha community that lives in D.C. Do your research if you don't know. Beyond that, I'm certain he's familiar with the long line of players born on African soil. I'm talking about Akeem Olajuwon, Manupo, and most relevant, Luau Deng, who is the president of the South Sudan Basketball Federation. There has been a huge investment into NBA Africa to create a pipeline for our brothers from the diaspora to reach the NBA and play the kind of basketball that the Sudanese team put on display against Team USA just a few short days ago. But instead of celebrating a group of men who made the entire continent of Africa proud for nearly pulling off the unthinkable, he chose to reduce them to stereotypes. And he basically called them spear chuckers and wildlings. And it just made me sad that Gil, a man wealthy enough and with a big enough platform to help shape the public perception of our homeland, and yes, that is our homeland, Gil, even though you may have never touched foot on the continent, he just chose to be willfully ignorant, and that hurt my heart. Hopefully, I don't know, it's been a long road, but hopefully someday Gilbert Arenas will grow up. I do feel like he has a lot to offer, and so he is getting my fumble of the week. What are your thoughts on Gilbert Arenas' comments on Sudan?
Yeah, he's done. I've never cared that much for him. I think his takes are sometimes just too out there for me, but I just didn't watch. I'm like, okay, I don't have to watch you. But now it's like, it's gone too far now. It really has. I know that you don't like cancel culture, but how can we support somebody who can speak like this? We should not be speaking like this to about Africans. Why would we do that? We're African American.
Some people don't view themselves as African Americans. They just view themselves as American, and that might be Gilbert Arenas. I can't dictate how he identifies and views himself.
Well, you shouldn't speak on anybody like that, because I guarantee you, if he had spoken on any other race or if he had spoken on any other group of people, they would have shut it down. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Like what are going to be the consequences to you opening your mouth and spewing this hate like this, talking about they don't have shoes, we have to send them clothes, we have to do. Are you serious?
I don't think there'll be any consequences. There'll be no consequences. This is his own platform, and Gilbert has said worse things about women in sports. So I don't think that he'll be penalized for this because he does produce.
Well, it's time.
He produces his own content, and to his credit, he's built a phenomenal platform. I think that I'm going to always encourage people to show up as the highest version of themselves. I think that Gil is very intelligent. His basketball IQ is off the charts, but these are the kind of things that are going to keep him from having a legitimate role in the NBA franchise. These are the same kind of comments and remarks that are going to come back to bite him on the ass. He's clearly campaigned in the past to be brought in to locker rooms to be an assistant coach and maybe even a head coach on an NBA level, but these are the kind of things that organizations are not going to want to associate themselves with. And ultimately, this will also potentially affect maybe like some sponsorship opportunities. I hope that he has enough or not enough of an ego to go ahead and issue an apology. I know Luau Deng tore his ass up in a statement on Instagram. I thought that was fire. And by all accounts, man, I just want this dude to grow up. It's so funny too, man, because again, growing up in not growing up, but coming of age in DC and seeing Gil's effect on the city, but also I have a Soul House membership, right? And Gil was in my Soul House membership welcome class, so he was like my Soho classmate or whatever, I guess you would call it. We would talk, and he would say bugged out things. You can tell he just says things for shock value, but I feel like sometimes he forgets who he is, and he tries to have conversations that if you want to say that in private, all right, whatever, but you don't put that on a platform for the world to consume. I just think it was bad optics all around.
Yeah, it was hurtful. It hurt my feelings. I didn't like it. I'm just thinking about the number of people that he hurt, or maybe the number of people that he's like, oh, well, if Gilbert said that, then the way that I think isn't bad. Yeah. You know, like I just think that in today's society, we don't need that. We don't need that type of rhetoric. We just don't. So you can go. Because you're not that intelligent to me.
Get him out of here!
I don't like it.
Okay. All right. Well, you let the people know what you want to hear in the comment section. I'll let you take it because you fed up.
Y'all, please let me know how much of an idiot Gilbert Arenas is in the comments. Thank you. So that's all for this week's episode of The Fumble. Thank you for joining us for another episode, and make sure to subscribe to The Fumble and at The Fumble Sports on all of our social media platforms. Of course, we deliver the latest every day on our YouTube page with Jackie Ray, and every Friday right here with myself, Samaria Terry, and my co-host, Rodney Rakai.
And the 2024 New Jersey draft, New Jersey trades Eli Apple to the state of Delaware. He is no longer from New Jersey. Just want to get that on record. Bye.
I'm at Eli catching strays.